Best of r/ Tales from Tech Support episode 114. Subscribe for edit videos daily. I'm not tech support, but handy with computers. Friends and family often ask me to have a look at anything that may not be working. This story starts with a friend's mum who was setting up her laptop to be like a desktop, separate monitor, keyboard, mouse etc. so she could work more comfortably during lockdown. I had been on call with her for roughly an hour the previous day to talk her through what she had to do. She was using the TV from the guest bedroom as a monitor and bought a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse set. These came with small USB sticks to plug into the laptop that then connected to the controller. $me equals me $Sue equals friend's mum. Not real name, Sue. I have everything set up now, except for my keyboard and mouse. I can't figure out how to connect them. Me, okay, have you got the USB stick? Sue, no, let me grab one now. I was a little confused why she said grab one rather than grab it. Sue, okay, got one. Me, okay, in the box there should be instructions on how to connect them. Sue, I threw the box away. Me, fast up and deep breath. Okay, well it shouldn't be too complicated. Are the batteries in? Sue, in where? Me, in the keyboard and mouse. Sue, hang on, I'll check. Yes they are. Me, okay, plug the USB stick for the mouse into the laptop. Sue, done. Me, now there should be a button on the stick and the mouse. Try holding them at the same time. Sue, I can't find a button on the stick. Me, okay, I began piecing together. Are you sure it's the right stick? Sue, it's just one from the drawer. I think it has some files on it. Does it matter? Me, hang on. Are you using a memory stick? Sue, yes, you said I needed the stick. Me, no, the stick it came with. Sue, but I threw that away. I already have loads of memory sticks. Me, it's not a memory stick. It's to connect to the mouse. Why didn't you keep it? Sue, I don't think I need to plug anything in. The box said it was wireless. Annoyed grunt. I'm not a good writer, so pick me up on any mistakes. Thank you. Next. Back in the heady days of Windows XP being brand new, I was working for a big computer company in Central Texas when this gem of a call came to me. From the get-go, it's clear this customer is already irate. I've been through this often enough. I know what you're going to ask. He proceeds to give me all the info I need, like service tag, name, address, etc. When I pull it up, I see a laundry list of back-to-back-to-back service calls for a faulty display. He's had enough, and he is demanding a full system exchange. I see that the monitor has been replaced 3 times, the video card twice, and the motherboard once. The issue he's complaining about is a bright spot in the top left corner of his screen. Insert cursing and complaining and insisting here. Me, sir, every part of the system that could possibly be causing that bright spot has been replaced. The only possibilities left are environment or user related. Even if I do a system exchange, I am not convinced it will resolve your issue. I am demanding a system exchange. None of you know what you're doing, or you would have fixed this the first time. Me, humor me, sir, and describe the issue as precisely as you are able to describe it. He proceeds to describe a bright spot in the top left corner of his monitor. It's a few inches from the top bezel and a few inches from the left bezel, and he's seeing it on the login screen. So I have him go to the BIOS, and in the BIOS it's fine. We reset the BIOS anyway, and go back to the login screen. He starts cursing and complaining, because there it is again. Me, sir, are you seeing this anywhere other than the login screen? I guess I haven't noticed. Me, sir, can you do me a favor, and go to Google Images and search for the Windows XP login screen? You see that image there, with the bright spot in the top left corner? Is that the same as your login screen? Yup, he'd costed the company thousands of dollars in warranty service because he didn't realize the bright spot in the corner of the Windows XP login screen was an aesthetic element and not a failure in the display. Thank you. Next. Sorry if this is too off topic. I guess it is only tech support in the broadest sense. When I was a Wii software developer in the mid-2000s, it was hard for a recent graduate to get a relevant job, so I had to freelance to build experience while working a factory job. Meanwhile, I would apply to all the classified job ads I was remotely qualified for. That's how I met the hustler. It began innocently enough with an ad for a web developer at a startup. For once, someone actually responded to my application. Upon meeting with them, it turned out there was just one guy, and he didn't really want to hire anyone, but was looking for a co-founder. After signing an NDA, he explained the business plan. We were to set up a website full of banner ads, and have registered users sign up for newsletters and whatnot in exchange for a percentage of the ad revenue. On top of that, we would use some multi-level marketing tactics to grow the user base. I wasn't thrilled by the concept, mainly because I thought it was inane. Who in their right mind would sit and give away their email for a few cents? But the hustler showed me a couple of other similar sites that were apparently doing okay. What the heck? I had nothing to lose. We shook hands and I went home to build the website. The ads were provided by ad networks that ran the tracking servers. This was before the GDPR, when companies could creep on users willy-nilly. When an ad was shown to a user, it would set a cookie in the browser, so that if that user later, say, signed up for the advertised site's newsletter, this could be tracked and the owner of the website where the ad was shown would be paid. Pretty much every ad network would let you tag the ads with custom data. We used that to identify which user generated each payment. I went above and beyond the expectations of the hustler. My website had a nice admin interface and would download the payment data nightly from each ad network, process them and credit each user with their share. The hustler had envisioned doing this by hand, so he was very pleased. The astute reader might notice that explicitly telling the users to sign up for a newsletter and paying them cash for doing so creates a quite perverse incentive. Normally, any sign-ups would result from genuine interest and reasonably be worth something. With this kickback, that was not necessarily the case, but they paid the same. This created this huge legal and ethical gray zone, where our kind of kickback-based website was tolerated by the ad networks, as long as we kept a low profile. The terms of service were vague as always, and could be interpreted in either direction. However, one of the biggest ad networks only had the more advanced features enabled for select, vetted customers, so I had to call them to ask for access and documentation. Well, what do you need this for? Our business model is unusual. We give our members a kickback for completing the specified task. That only works if I can track each member. Let me check your website real quick. Oh, well, I see no problems with this. Just to clarify, monetary incentives for signing up to random newsletters are fine, I guess. Can I have that in writing, please? I did get it in writing. Turns out some ad networks didn't mind screwing their customers as long as it was profitable. After a few months of the hustler quite successfully running this website, he began talking about expanding the business into an actual ad network, cutting out the middleman. By this point I had begun having qualms about the morality of it all. It paid well, in the eyes of young me, but I couldn't justify continue doing it. Pivoting to a legitimate business would solve that. During a meeting, I presented my estimate for how much time it would take to build our own ad network software. So as you can see, this part of the project will take me 3 months of work. Can't we cut that estimate down to 2 months? What? Well, this is my estimate. The work takes the same time, regardless. Cutting the estimate just makes us miss our milestones. Blank stare. Anyhow, since it will require me to quit my day job and work on this project full time, I will need get paid more regularly. Oh, I've been thinking about that. What if you apply for unemployment benefits while working on this? Oh, that's illegal, right? I was beginning to get a feeling that the hustler wasn't the best co-founder to have. Being inexperienced with life in general, I did not push the matter, but hoped for the best. About a month later, I again spoke to the hustler and raised the issue about getting paid. I am practically working 2 jobs right now, so I could really use that monthly salary. It would make it a whole lot easier to focus on our company, you know. I can't quit my day job until you agree to that. Oh, I had just kind of assumed you were already on unemployment. You are not? And that's what finally made me realize I should not work with him. For a long time, I would Google the hustler every other year or so, to see what came of it. The kickback website closed down after about a year, and nothing seemed to happen with his newly started ad network. despite being one of the leading players in the country, according to the marketing copy. Thank you. Next. My position at my company is mainly geared toward maintaining and adding to a system that's been slowly built up over 5 years, which is used by the employees to track the movement of devices throughout our company. Last night a user ran into an issue while attempting to reprint a container label. The system asks them to type in the item's ID, and prints it out. They can reprint device labels, container labels, workbench labels, etc. all using the same page. Every workstation on the floor has a scanner. The labels print out with barcodes. Scanning the barcode types in the ID written on the label. There's a tricky bit since the labels display the container ID with underscores, but the actual ID and the barcode doesn't have any. But scanning the barcode works very well. Nobody has had issues with it for a while. Enter this user. They attempted to reprint a label for a container, with a label that reads, ID, box 123,456, barcode for box 123,456, / box 123,456 / The system gives them an error message. Item, ID, box 123,456 does not exist in the database. They got in touch with another developer overnight. Now, I didn't create this part of the program, but I've been working on a lot of the code adjacent to the reprint process, so the other dev tried some troubleshooting with the customer but didn't go into the code itself. Which is fine. I don't expect someone else to try to figure out a problem with code that I've been playing with, and since this wasn't a show-stopping issue, it could wait until morning. So I get logged in this morning and see I've been added to the email chain, and take a look. My first thought is that the barcode was printed incorrectly, somehow adding the ID part. Nope. Created some new containers, reprinted existing ones, fed the output into an online label previewer. Since I don't have a Zebra printer at home, and the barcode scanner app on my phone was able to pick up the correct info from my monitor, so why did the scanner pick up ID, along with the actual ID string? Then I get an idea. I ask the user and the other dev if they were typing in the container ID, or scanning it. They were typing it. Specifically, they were typing ID, box 123,456. At no point did the other dev, who has access to the same database information that I do, realize that none of our containers get an ID that starts with ID. They had the user try typing it with underscores, without underscores, but never without ID. I don't know if they knew that the user was writing that, or just didn't know that it wasn't part of the actual ID, but this obvious mistake on the user's part wasted a significant amount of time for several people. I'm changing the program to remove ID from the user's input, as well as any underscores or white space. That'll teach me to rely on users equipped with barcode scanners to actually, use them, instead of typing in the code manually. I mean, the device IDs are 12-15 numbers long, but I guess some people like typing that in each time. Let's see what they manage to break next. Thank you. Next. As promised yesterday, here's my second story. Again, I posted this recently as a comment in r/ask Reddit, but I thought it was worthy of a post here. I received a call that a site had lost internet. We isolated the issue to a faulty core switch. The site was a 4-hour drive away, so it wasn't uncommon to ask users to reboot the equipment for us if we felt they were capable. This user we'd had rebooted equipment for us multiple times, so I decided to ask her if she could unplug the switch and plug it back in. Generally we'd be on the phone with them while they do this, or better still a video call. However, she insisted she would be okay as she'd done it before. They were due to be having that switch replaced soon as it was temperamental, and she'd call us if she ran into any trouble. Our office closes at 1700 hours, but I'd stayed a few minutes late with a colleague just hoping to get them back up and running before tomorrow. She disappeared at 17:15 to go reboot the switch. By 17:45 I hadn't heard back from her and couldn't reach anyone when I called in. They're open until 1900 hours, but she's the receptionist and nobody else tends to pick up the phone. We decided to call it today and go home. I knew she finished at 17:30, so presumed she'd got caught up with something else then home. 8 o'clock the next day I call in expecting her to answer and let us know if she'd rebooted it and if they were back up, but a different user answered. Apparently the receptionist was off sick. Turns out the receptionist had, rather than opening the back of the cabinet. I learned later her manager had hidden the key. She tried reaching in one of the cable holes, got her arm stuck, and became trapped in a soundproof comms room, with no way to communicate to the outside world that she was there and stuck. What must have been taunting her is there is a phone in the comms room. It would have been within reach, but with the internet down, the phone wouldn't have been able to connect to the phone system. She was in there for half an hour before anyone found her. The fire brigade had to cut off part of the cabinet to free her, which took another 20 minutes to arrive after they were called. Since she would have finished at 17:30, I'm unsure anyone would have even noticed she was gone, so I don't even know how she was found or if they even looked for her. I haven't dared call that client since. I have to add, I felt a little bad how funny I found this, as she got into this situation trying to help me get their internet working. We sent an engineer there straight away who got them back up and running, and had to do a damage assessment as the comms cabinet had a chunk missing. Also, in case anyone was concerned, she wasn't injured, but did have a nasty bruise. Thank you. Next. Got a call the other day from the user stating that they had forgotten their username and password, and wanted us to reset it. User. IT does not have access to this as it is not our system. Please follow the reset link on the ADP online login screen. User, but you guys reset everything else. Why can't you just reset it for me? Because we have no access to it. ADP is an entirely different company. User, but it's for this company. It's logging the hours I puts in here. You don't have the power to reset my password. Head meet desk. Finding all my nice support guy skills. It's super easy. On the bottom there is a forgot username/password link at the bottom of the ADP login screen. Just follow the prompts. User, oh, okay, you're right, this looks like what I need. Okay, thank you though. Click. User hangs up. And have a nice day. Working from home is making users worse. Thank you. Next. Essential worker network cabling technician for an MSP attached to an international investment bank in the epicenter of the plague. Good news. I only have to come into the office for dire emergencies. Bad news. What constitutes a dire emergency? Monday, 9:30. Desktop support. Working from home. A dozen trader PCs aren't showing as online. End users can't remote to their workstations. Network cabling. Please head to the office and figure it out. Funny thing is, they're all on the same subnet. Network cabling. 9:37. Sounds like a switch issue. Network operations. Did you do anything over the weekend? Network operations. WFH. Network cabling. 9:50. Network operations. Before I go, can you at least tell me which switch is responsible for this subnet? Network operations. WFH. Network cabling. 10:10. Network deployment. Can you tell me what switch is responsible for this subnet? Network deployment. WFH. Sure, we'll get on that. Desktop support. WFH. 10:15. Network cabling. What's your ETA for arrival? Network cabling. 10:17. Well, it takes me an hour to bike the 13 miles to work, so, an hour from now. Data center services. WFH. 10:18. Network cabling. What's your ETA for arrival? Network cabling's boss. WFH. 10:20. What's your ETA for arrival? Please respond. Network cabling. 10:23. Can't talk. Biking. Network cabling's boss. WFH. Okay. Call data center services when you get there. Desktop support. WFH. 10:40. Network cabling. What's your ETA for arrival? Network cabling. Can't talk. Biking. Data center services. WFH. 11 o'clock. Network cabling. What's your ETA for arrival? Network cabling. I'm following a man wearing full body armor and a space helmet, blasting Bruce Springsteen from his boombox. Data center services. WFH. What? Network cabling. Can't talk. Biking. Network operations. WFH. 11:10. Network cabling. What's your ETA for arrival? Network cabling. Can't talk. Biking. Also, you never responded whether you did anything to the switches over the weekend. Network operations, WFH. Network cabling, 11:20. I'm in the office. Data center services, what needs doing? Data center services, WFH. Liaise with desktop support. Desktop support, WFH. Liaise with high touch support. High touch support. We spoke with network operations. Apparently they ran an update over the weekend that broke a lot of switches and now they're rolling back the update. Network cabling, great. What do I need to do? High touch support, just hold on. Network cabling, okay. Network deployment, WFH. Here's the information you asked for. However, all the ports are active according to us. Network cabling, thank you. Data center services, looks like it's in network operations wheelhouse. Data center services, WFH, typical of them. They pull something like this. Decline any on-site support and then open 20 tickets in 20 different regions to deal with the fallout after the screw-up. Network cabling, wait, when were you going to tell me this was only one of 20 similar tickets? Data center services, WFH, I don't see why that's pertinent. Network cabling, I see. Network deployments boss, WFH, why did you ask us for this information? This is network operations wheelhouse. Also, we need a ticket to do work. Network cabling, because you responded. All I have for network operations is their global hotline, which is, suffice it to say, never hot. Network deployments boss, WFH, well it's not our problem, and we still need a ticket. Network cabling, if you want I can transfer my ticket to you so you get credit. Network deployments boss, WFH, are you sassing me? Network cabling, nope. Just being the pinnacle of proper protocol. Network deployments boss, WFH, fine, but next time here's the regional hotline for network operations. Network cabling, this is the same number as their global hotline. Network deployments boss, WFH. Network operations, WFH, 12:30, looks like everything's good. Just stick around for another 15 minutes or so in case it isn't. Desktop support, WFH, 13:30, looks like we need you. 3 of the PCs aren't where they should be after the rollback. Network cabling, oh good. I was beginning to think this was a complete wash. Desktop support, WFH, it's these 3 desks. Now, whatever you do, don't reset the PCs. Network cabling, I'm a technician. I'd need a handwritten letter signed by God herself stapled to my pay raise before I touch anything that my team isn't responsible for. Desktop support, WFH, just making sure. High touch support, oh, we recognize these. We swung connections from neighboring desks to get them back online. Network cabling, oh, so you can swing them back, right? High touch support, that's not our job. Network cabling, but you just swung them over. I thought X had an inborn sense of sire, why would you? High touch support, we are employees, you're a contractor. Network cabling, say no more. High touch support, also, we've already left the office. Network cabling, I see. Network operations, WFH, 14:30, okay, looks like everything's good for real. Thanks everybody for their support. Network cabling, I hate you all. Network cabling's boss, WFH, 1500 hours. Hey, since you're in the office, maybe you can do all this non-emergency stuff we've been holding off on account of the plague. Network cabling, I get the distinct impression you all aren't taking this seriously.